Hey friends, Megan Reyes. I'm a soccer host and creator. Thank you for joining me again. Today we have a really fun conversation with Sam Hiatt, defender for reigning NWSL champions Gotham FC. Sam shares with me how her mother influenced her love for the game of soccer and how she finds continued connection to her Filipino heritage. Let's check it out. How would you define as a Filipino American? What does being Filipino mean to you?
Yeah, I think being Filipino can mean a lot of things, but for me, it meant growing up and really learning the importance of family and the importance of kindness and hard work and respect for your elders. And of course, good food as well, the importance of good food and family celebrations. And I think I'm really fortunate because I grew up with my Lulu and Lula, so, grandma and grandpa, Filipino for grandma and grandpa, as well as my great Lula, who lived to be 102, in addition to so many first cousins, second cousins, aunts, uncles, great aunts, great uncles. And we would have family gatherings where I would get to spend time with all of this extended family. And it really did teach me the importance of being intentional about, spending time with family and creating that environment and culture, as well as, like I said, respect for your elders. I remember times showing up and wanting to just run off and see my cousins, and my mom was like, no, go give Lula a hug, go say hi to Lula, kind of making your rounds and just, paying respect to the elders in the room. And I just think that it's something that I want to emulate with my own kids. We've talked about, me and the cousins, we were saying we want our kids to grow up and have the same experience and the same traditions that we were lucky enough to grow up with. So I'm hoping to recreate that with my kids as well. The feeling of family and just spending time together with good food and the best people.
I appreciate that answer. And I feel like I've had this conversation now with two others, and they all defined family and the importance of family as what they've learned a lot from their childhood. And I would agree. I was also saying to someone else, I love in our culture how everyone's family, regardless of if it's immediate family or not. It's just really important to us. And so I would love to know for yourself, you mentioned that you grew up with, your grandparents and your cousins on your Filipino side. Also, knowing that you're from the greater Seattle area and there's a lot of diversity there, were you surrounded by a lot of Filipino influence outside of your family in your upbringing?
I would say when I was younger, it was primarily from my family. And I was fortunate that we called them Sunday dinners, where we would go to my Lula's house and she would make a traditional Filipino meal. And if it was your birthday, you got to pick which one. And so a lot of times when I was younger, it was from my Lula, my own family. But one thing that I think is cool is as I got older, I started to seek out Filipino restaurants or coffee shops in the greater Seattle area, and was introduced to that community more, and have really enjoyed getting to know the owners and just talking to them about their experience and going with my teammates to these places. So I think especially originally a lot of familial influence, I guess, but as I got older was kind of able to branch out and start meeting other people, other Filipinos in the greater Seattle area. Like you said, there is that influence there, and being able to, have Filipino food that wasn't made by my Lula, and it was at a cafe, although we did bring her there and it was Lula approved.
Okay. I admire and I appreciate how you find ways to practice that by finding cafes or restaurants or things like that. Have you found any in New Jersey or New York that you are fond of?
Not yet. I've done some research. I have a list in my phone, but I haven't had time to go investigate in person yet. But I'm excited to do that. I have I have a compiled list in my notes.
Well, when this comes out, and for everyone watching, recommendations, send them to Sam. She needs to find them.
I would love some recommendations.
If you're open to sharing too, in your tracing your lineage back, which side or sides of your family are you Filipino? And then do you know where in the Philippines they're from? Have you had the opportunity to visit?
So my mom was born in Cagayan de Oro, and she came over here when she was very young, or came to the U.S. But I have not been to the Philippines yet. I've tried to plan some trips when I was younger, but the great youth soccer schedule got in the way between ECNL tournaments and youth national team camps. And also, you mentioned you're going there for 3 weeks. I want to go for, a good amount of time. It's not a quick trip. And so now that I'm older, the adult professional soccer schedule has kind of gotten in the way of that. But I am going to go at some point. I just don't know when.
You mentioned representation and the importance of that. So what does it mean for you as someone in NWSL and at the top flight to get to be a role model for young Filipinos?
Yeah, I think it's so interesting because growing up, I was so lucky to have a built-in role model of my own. So my mom actually played soccer at Santa Clara, and she also played post-college in Seattle in like an adult league with some of her Santa Clara teammates and former Pac-12 players. So I got to grow up going to her games, and I have such vivid memories of being on the sidelines at her games and watching her play. And I just remember thinking, like, I want to do that. Like, I want to play in college and I want to play after college. I didn't even know what that meant at that point, but I was just knew I wanted to do that. And so now that I'm older, I can recognize the incredible impact that had on me. And so I think to have the opportunity to potentially be that for someone else is just really an honor. And I just hope that if, young girls, young Filipina girls, young Asian girls can see me and, be inspired and know that they can, achieve, if they want to play in the NWSL, they can do that. If it gives them the confidence to go after their goals and to know that they can do what they set their mind out to do, then I'm just so grateful to be able to have the opportunity to have that impact. Because again, I remember being the young girl watching my mom, and I remember how it made me feel. And I hope that if I can do that for even just one other young girl, then that's pretty amazing. So it's an honor, really.
And I'm sure you are. I know you are, especially with how proud and how niche our culture and our community is. I know that they're certainly looking at you like, we have one in the league. Look at her go.
It is pretty cool. There have been after games in Seattle sometimes, when you're like signing autographs, sometimes parents or even little girls, they'll be like, she's Filipina, or she wants to play soccer when she grows up too. And honestly, anytime there's a little girl who says that or whose parents say that, I'm like, that's so cool. But in particular, when they're like, she's Filipina too, I'm like, that's awesome. Like, I hope you do play soccer, play professionally, play in college, whatever you want to do. I hope you do it.
Oh, that's so special. Yeah, there needs to be more. There needs to be more of us playing professional soccer. You're helping pave that way. And I didn't know that. I didn't know that story about your mom. That's really special. Would you say that that's where your influence and love for soccer probably stemmed from?
Yeah, I think so. Both my parents played in college, actually, both at Santa Clara. So I definitely grew up around the game. I think I obviously grew my own love for it, and that's what's carried me. But I think being around it from a young age definitely inspired me way back when. And like I said, especially watching my mom play, I knew what I wanted to do when I grew up.
I love that. Okay, well, just to close, I just have a few fun rapid fire questions to get to know you a little bit better. Yep. So this one has kind of stumped people. I don't know if you've already been prepped. If you have, that's okay. But who is on your Mount Rushmore of soccer players, either men or women?
Ooh.
So you can pick
four. Mount Rushmore of soccer players. Okay, I think growing up, I loved watching Christy Rampone on the U.S. Women's National Team, as a fellow defender. She's someone who I looked up to, so I'll put her on there. I also love Xavi, back from his Barcelona tiki-taka days, so I'll put him up there as well. I think... I'm trying to think of another... maybe I'll put Abby Wambach up there as well, just because I remember watching her as a young girl kind of growing up and just thinking she was an absolute, beast on the field and just thinking that was so cool. And then who else? I'm trying to think. Mount Rushmore. That's a tall task because I think I'm just thinking of the first people who are coming to mind, which might not be Mount Rushmore worthy, but
that's okay.
You know what? I'll even it out. I'll do Virgil van Dijk just because I think as a fellow defender, I think a lot of times defenders don't get, as much credit or whatever attention. And so I think what he's done and his reputation and how he plays is awesome. So I'll throw him up there for some more defender representation.
Some for defender love. I like it. That's a good one. So do you have, and it doesn't have to be in soccer, in any sport, do you have a favorite Asian or AAPI athlete?
Sure.
I think this is going to seem random, but I loved Michelle Kwan growing up, the figure skater. I just thought she was so cool. And I think in another lifetime, I would have loved to be able to figure skate because it's so impressive. But she's someone who again, it probably is a random sport to choose, but I feel like I grew up watching her and thought that she was just amazing. So I'll say her.
No, that's not random at all. Growing up, I loved Michelle Kwan and Christy Yamaguchi. So figure skating, I'm the same. I was a dancer growing up. So in another, I'd like the way they just, and then they land on a blade. Like, it's just
like you're
terrifying
so strong and like you're so strong, but also so graceful and elegant. And it's just, it's just so impressive.
Right. The whole time I'd be afraid of falling on my face, twisting an ankle. I don't know, all the things. But I also admired Michelle Kwan. Okay, if you had to pick, would you rather have pancit or adobo for the rest of your life?
Ooh, do I get rice with the adobo?
Yes.
Okay. Sure. I'll go adobo. I do love pancit, but I'll go adobo.
Same. It's a comfort food for me.
Yeah, exactly. Making me hungry, actually.
And then... And then last question for you. If you didn't play soccer, what sport would you want to play professionally?
I think if it's not a reflection of skills that I currently possess, I would love to play. I think basketball is so cool. And I admire the WNBA women and everything that they're doing. And I just think it's so fun to watch. And I think if I could acquire the skill set, a WNBA player, I would love to play basketball. If it's more based upon skills I already have, I don't know. I guess in another life, maybe I would have maybe played volleyball or done swimming or something like that. But if I could choose, basketball.
Did you play growing up? Did you ever play basketball growing up?
I did when I was young, up until the age where you had to pick which sport, and then obviously picked soccer and stuck with that. But for, I think, up until middle school, played basketball and enjoyed it for sure.
Well, WNBA, if you need someone, call her.
You need a fan. You got me right here.
Well, that's all I have for you. Thank you. This was fun. It was a great convo. It was good getting to know a little bit more about you.